Today, let us know about the functions of Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and various motions that can be moved in the Lok Sabha. And of course, some details about Rajya Sabha also, to understand the complete structure of our bicameral legislative system in our constitutional democracy. The Speaker is the head of the chair of the Lok Sabha. You know, Lok Sabha, consisting of 545 members, will have one of the elected members as a Speaker, and Speaker will be conducting the activities of the proceedings of and the agenda set by the parliamentary parties of different elected political parties, and they run the show. So the Speaker presides over Lok Sabha and he conducts business of the House, and he decides a bill, whether it is a money bill or not. It's a very big controversy. You know, in the recent times, Aadhaar bill was introduced as money bill, and it was challenged before Supreme Court, and Supreme Court by majority of 4:1 said once the Speaker decides it as a money bill, it is money bill and we have nothing to do about it. They refused to interfere. But Dhananjay Chandrachud, Supreme Court judge, has given a dissent opinion saying that it's a fraud on the Constitution. When some bill doesn't have characteristics of money bill, which are prescribed specifically in the Constitution, how can you call it money bill? And when you cannot call it money bill, how can you declare it to be money bill? And how do you pass it in Parliament? Is the question raised by Dhananjay Chandrachud. Very interesting question, very important question. And why is that money bill makes such a difference? Because money bill cannot be introduced in Rajya Sabha, and money bill, if introduced, if initiated in Lok Sabha, it's enough. And even if you do not have any majority in Rajya Sabha, a bill can be declared passed. That special power is given to money bill and Lok Sabha. Because the ruling party was not having sufficient majority in Rajya Sabha, they adopted this measure in the first term of the BJP government. That is why money bill constitutes very important, significant character. So let us discuss all these things today. Speaker permits various kinds of motions. Speaker permits the speakers to make speeches in Lok Sabha, and he will also maintain discipline and decorum in the House. It is for him to do that, and on behalf of the House, he will discipline the members who are alleged to have unruly behavior, and he can also suspend the members. Sometimes when outsiders disturb the Lok Sabha, it is the Speaker who can act on behalf of the House and admonish them and decide whether privilege was breached or not. So these are some of the powers of speakers. He will decide the agenda. If the President fixes the date, President will fix the date for election of Speaker, and after that Speaker will take over the running of business of the Lok Sabha. After Speaker, you will have Deputy Speaker for the Lok Sabha. He is the Vice Presiding Officer of Lok Sabha. He will be chairing the sessions in the absence of Speaker, because it is not possible for one person to sit all along, and in fact it is not possible for the two persons also to sit long durations of Lok Sabha proceedings. So there will be a panel of chairpersons, and that panel member, we call them panel member. The panel member will also be sitting in the chair of the Speaker, and when he sits in the chair of the Speaker, he will have complete powers of the Speaker. Then what does Deputy Speaker do? One, in the absence of Speaker, he will be chairing the sessions. He will decide also whether bill is money bill or non-money bill. He maintains discipline. The same powers, all the powers that the Speaker will have to perform, will be performed by him, and he will also permit the motions for motions of no confidence, motion of adjournment, motion of censure, or calling attention motion. There are several motions in parliamentary democracy. For example, motion of adjournment. That means you don't want to continue the proceedings of the House, you want something else, and you want to pass motion of adjournment. It can be. And motion of censure. So if the legislators want to admonish a particular officer or minister for some reason, for some breach of privilege or for any other reason, they can move the motion of censure. The another very interesting motion is called calling attention motion. In calling attention motion, you want to, a member may try to call the attention of the Sabha, I mean the House, to a very important recent happening, which is very significant to be discussed immediately, and they demand accountability from government, and they will also demand official statement from the concerned minister to settle the confusion about a particular issue about which they are agitating. So calling attention motion, ध्यान आकर्षण बोलते हैं हिंदी में. So calling attention motion, motion of censure, and motion of adjournment, and motion of no confidence. When political upheaval happens, when defections happen, people withdraw the support to the government. If it is a coalition, any partner withdrawing the support from the government will result in a serious political turmoil. At that point of time, if they suspect that current government doesn't have confidence of the majority, they can move motion of no confidence. And nowadays, even the motion of confidence is also has come up. Motion of confidence means if there is any doubt, if no confidence motion is not moved, but people are doubting the majority of a existing government, the government itself can move a motion saying that the House has confidence in it. It is called confidence motion. So these are all possible. Either Deputy Speaker or Speaker can permit this kind of motion. There are 6 general motions that Speaker can or Deputy Speaker can permit. The one motion that to be introduced is privilege motion. What is privilege motion? The members of Parliament have certain privileges. House as such has certain privilege, and if anybody disturbs this privilege and breaches this privilege, a motion to admonish the concerned person for the breach of privileges can be moved, and that is called privilege motion. The Indian legislature, we have a federal parliament and Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad in the states. They may raise a question involving a breach of privilege either of a member of the council or of a committee with the consent of the chairman. House can punish citizen for breach. House, any house, whether it is Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Mandali, Vidhan Parishad, or Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, each house can punish for its contempt. Punish whom? Punish a citizen. So that is privilege motion. You can move privilege motion there, here. Another motion which I just now talked about is censure motion. Lok Sabha, it can be only in Lok Sabha censure motion can be moved, nowhere else. They will insist that government or any other minister has to come and explain for his failure. Why did he fail to act in a particular way? Why not Lok Sabha seek disapproval of the policy? It is called motion of censure. No leave of the House is required for moving a censure motion, but it must specify the charges against the government for which it is moved. So it is not leave of the House. Anytime you can initiate the censure motion, but you should tell why are you doing it. That means they have to take a leave. On these grounds, I am going to move the motion, and formally it has to be accepted by the Speaker. If censure motion is passed, it means government has lost its confidence. So immediately government has to move the motion of the confidence. If Council of Ministers moves motion of confidence but loses, then it will fall. Suppose though it is censured by some, if the same members who censured the government, if they allow it to continue, it will survive. So it's a condition that once censure motion is passed, the Council of Ministers should move the motion for confidence as early as possible. Then just now we have discussed motion of no confidence. Motion of no confidence generally is introduced by the opposition members. Whenever the assumed majority, proclaimed majority or assured majority is lost, then the government has to face the no confidence motion, and if no confidence motion moves and it is won, that means there is a majority of support from the members of Lok Sabha for no confidence, government will fall. If no confidence motion fails, government will survive. There were several times such a no confidence motions were moved, and there was There are some serious consequences also. Governments fell. Then the fourth motion is call attention motion. A member has to seek the permission of the speaker and call the attention of the minister of any urgent matter with which his ministry is concerned. It should be a matter of urgent public importance. Something happened which has to be immediately discussed in the Lok Sabha. For example, COVID issue has to be discussed in the Lok Sabha. If it is not properly made into or included in agenda, the members can raise the issue and ask for call attention motion, and it can be, if it is permitted by the speaker, it will continue. There is no call attention motion in Rajya Sabha. That is another important feature, difference between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So you cannot move money bill in Rajya Sabha. You cannot make call attention motion in Rajya Sabha. You cannot make censure motion in Rajya Sabha. But there, the Rajya Sabha can ask for papers. So they can move motion for papers and get motion for papers. Then fifth is adjournment motion, seeking adjournment of the meeting. Then sixth is cut motion. Very, very interesting. Cut motion is the power of Lok Sabha. Suppose on some issue Lok Sabha members muster majority support, they can oppose the demands made in financial bill and say that I am going to cut your allocation. It's a symbolically 1 rupee cut is proposed. In fact, whether you cut 1 rupee or not, it doesn't make any difference. But it's a symbolic opposition to the policy, and if cut motion is adopted by the House, government has to resign. So that is a serious impact of cut motion. Then cut motion is again confined to Lok Sabha. Remember it, there is another motion which cannot be moved in Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha only is the place where cut motion can be moved. That means if even otherwise, suppose a member feels that so much of money is not required to be allocated for a particular department, it can say no, reduce the allocation by 100 crores. They may propose and it may be reduced. There are three kinds of cut motions: disapproval of policy cut, an economy cut, and token cut. That means I don't want this policy, so I will not allocate you any money. And if this motion is moved, it's a very seriously dangerous. And economy cut means, suppose they want to reduce the expenditure to save the economy of the country, they can do that. Then token cut, 1 rupee, 100 rupees is the token cut. Then another very interesting power that is in the hands of President is dissolution of the House. President, as head of the House, can cause dissolution of the House. He is head of the Parliament, not head of the House, sorry. As head of the Parliament, he can cause a dissolution of one House, that is Lok Sabha. But he can't do it on his own. He has to do it on recommendation of Prime Minister. If Lok Sabha, if Prime Minister threatens to dissolution of the Lok Sabha, if he recommends President to do so, President can dissolve the Lok Sabha, and that is followed by a general election. The dissolution of Lok Sabha is not a very, very easy thing. It's a very complex, very costly, very significant, with serious consequences. If Lok Sabha is dissolved, you have to constitute another Lok Sabha. How do you do that? By conducting elections. That means all of a sudden, country has to face the election. You know, there were several midterm polls we faced in this country because of no confidence motion succeeded, or House is dissolved because the leader of the House did not have enough majority. So President normally accepts the recommendation of Lok Sabha, of dissolution of Lok Sabha made by the Prime Minister and Council of States. So when Prime Minister is commanding the majority, yes, he has to simply follow the advice. But when he doesn't, when Prime Minister doesn't carry the majority support in the House, can he recommend dissolution of the House? He can recommend. But is it binding on the President? Not exactly, yes. It involves the personal satisfaction of the President of India whether to allow House to be dissolved and facilitate re-election, or explore the possibility of continuing the House for the rest of the term with a alternative possible stable government. So what he has to see is there an alternative available? If available, is it stable? Can it run the rest of the term of the Parliament peacefully and stably? On these questions, the issue of dissolution of Lok Sabha depends. So President cannot do either on his vision pleasure, not on the whims and fancies of Prime Minister, who is outgoing or who doesn't enjoy the confidence of the House. Then I told you money bill can only be introduced in Lok Sabha, and once money bill is passed, if it is sent to Rajya Sabha, it has to be deliberated for up to 14 days only. If not rejected by the Rajya Sabha, 14 days will lapse from the introduction of the bill in the Rajya Sabha without any action of the House, or recommendations made by the Rajya Sabha are not acceptable to the Lok Sabha, the bill is considered passed. That means even if it is rejected by Rajya Sabha, even if it did not deliberate for 14 days for the introduction of the bill which was passed in Lok Sabha, even if it recommended not to accept, the Lok Sabha will consider it as passed, and if it is passed by Lok Sabha, even if it is not passed by Rajya Sabha, money bill will be deemed to have been passed by the Parliament. And generally the Finance Minister will introduce the bills, budgets. Budget is called Annual Financial Statement in the name of President of India. Now let me take a few points of Rajya Sabha. You know, there are limited powers available in Rajya Sabha. Some of the motions cannot be moved there. It is called Council of States. It is a permanent body. I told you already, it is a permanent body. Each member is elected for a term of 6 years, and they will be elected once in 2 years. 1/3 of the members of Rajya Sabha will be elected. So that's how it continues. And there is one very interesting difference between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The MPs to be elected to Lok Sabha must have minimum age of 25 years, whereas the age prescribed for getting elected to Rajya Sabha as MP is 30 years, as against 25 years of Lok Sabha. Then you have Vice President of India as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. He will be presiding over the sittings. Then there will be a deputy chairman, vice chairman of Rajya Sabha, elected from the members of the Rajya Sabha. The strength of Rajya Sabha is laid down as 250 by Article 20, Article 80. 12 members will be nominated by the President, and 238 members are representatives of the states and the union territories. The present strength of Rajya Sabha is of course around 245. Then 12 are supposed to be nominated by the President from the special knowledge area or eminence or practical experienced persons with regard to in relation to literature, science, art and social surveys. It's a continuous survey, as I have already told you. So we'll study some more aspects in the next class.